On. We're live.
Yes, we're going to be talking today a little bit about Genie Plus, Lightning
Yeah.
Lane. It's going to be happening at Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
Yeah.
So we figured it's a good time to kind of talk about it, which is good though, because we kind of had one of those days where we laid around and didn't do too much and really rested. And we figured
I
we
edited
did
a
some
whole
research.
video myself. I don't know about you.
Well, but normally then we would go out and shoot. So
True.
we didn't. But we decided we started studying up and reading a little bit more about the Genie Plus.
Plus, there was a lot of announcements made today about it.
Yeah, so that was the reason we were kind of like, okay, let's really study it and gather our thoughts, and then let's do a live stream, hear how you guys are thinking about it. First, we're going to try to go through and cover the information. So for anybody who didn't catch the announcement, what we'll do is we'll go through and try to explain it. And then we'll kind of give you our reaction and talk about how you guys feel about it. And just kind of have a chat about Genie Plus and Lightning Lane. Because it's kind of confusing. I'm not going to lie.
It's a little bit confusing. There's some similarities with the old, what was it, Fast Pass Plus that they did?
Fast Pass, Max Pass.
Right. Now, the thing that we should probably mention first is that it's going to be launching at Walt Disney World first, which is another reason we're doing this, because we're here in Florida. October 19th, it launches here at Walt Disney World. So it's coming up pretty quick. We've been seeing lots of signs of it in the park. The old Fast Pass lanes have all been relabeled as Lightning Lanes. You may have seen it in some of our videos. We've pointed it out here and there.
Which is kind of silly, because don't you think they should have just changed the name to, or kept it Max Pass? Why did we have to have a whole name change?
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. We'll talk more about that later.
Well, because I guess the program is Genie.
Yeah.
Genie Plus, and then the lane is within the Genie Plus because of the upsell.
Hi, Beast. Hi, guys.
Beast. Because of the upsell
Hi,
of
Thomas.
it, right? So that's why Lightning Lane has been separated as a different thing instead of calling the whole system Fast Pass and then hey, here's the Fast Pass line.
Max Pass.
Max Pass, whatever.
Max Pass, Fast Pass.
I'll always say
Fast
Pass.
Well, they had Fast Pass Plus out here. So anyway, let's get into while everybody's kind of getting in here. We'll give everybody some time, but why don't you take it and kind of explain a little bit, and then I'll chime in a little bit.
Here's what I know, and I've got some reference in front of me just in case.
Right, yeah, because it's a lot. It's not something, I'm kind of, the whole time I'm thinking
I showed up for the test, and I didn't really study last night, so I've crammed it all in.
Well, you got the announcement today.
I wrote it on my arm.
Well, the whole thing is, though, is I keep wondering, are we going to, not understand this? We normally know so much about Disneyland, and we have for years, and it's
well, that's because of trial and error. A lot of stuff that we know is because of experience and using systems and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to tilt this down.
I am better that way, though, myself. I know, you know how, they say there's kinesthetic learners, there's visual learners, and then there's auditory learners? I'm far more kinesthetic. What
is that, hands-on?
It means hands-on. I have to go through it and do it. I learn things. Yeah, so that's why I think, we're doing our best.
But what we do know is that if you want to purchase the Genie Plus option, it's $15 here.
So tell us what it is. If I was to come up to you and I'm like, what is the Genie Plus
It's
thing?
basically a way through your smartphone or your device to make an itinerary for your day.
Okay.
And it helps you make that itinerary. So say you have some things you want to do, like you want to go on a rise, you want to meet a princess, you want to eat at Be Our Guest, and you want to also go on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Okay.
Those are two different parks, but you can do that, by the way. You can also program in what time you want to go to another park, and you can program multiple parks within it as far as Walt Disney World's concerned, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So you plug in all your needs, and it will arrange it based on availability, as well as it's using a database from all the past data that they have from ride times, wait times, reservations. They've kind of compiled a database based on all that stuff. And I'm sure it will be ever changing, as it gets implemented. And so this thing organizes your day and kind of tells you hey, first thing you should do is go here based on this.
Based on the wait time for Thunder Mountain, we think you should go over to Thunder Mountain right now.
Right.
And then maybe do your Be Our Guest reservation and Oh, is my hoodie string? It's stuck in there. Yeah, I pulled this too hard. I got kind of excited and I went, and down it went.
So essentially, it's that in a nutshell. It's a planner.
Yeah.
For your
now,
day.
How does this work as far as Disneyland versus Walt Disney World? So I think the main thing that we want to try to explain real quick is that they're kind of the same but kind of different. So at Walt Disney World, it's going to cost how much a day?
$15 to use the Genie service.
Right, and then at Disneyland, it's going to cost $20.
Correct. It's more at Disneyland, and which is a little odd because seemingly it's less real estate and less options.
Maybe it's more. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Theoretically speaking,
that's California for you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but so then you can also do this thing where these premium Genie Plus rides like Rise of the Resistance, Mine Train, Radiator Springs Racers, you can buy those because they're not, I don't think they're featured in the regular Genie.
No, they're not.
You have to buy those separately. And
those are Lightning Lane attractions.
And those prices range anywhere from like $7 to $15.
Yeah, I think 15 was the most expensive that
and
we
those
saw.
Prices are also fluid based on more crowded days, availability, some sort of, parameter as far as different prices for different days. So see how this is
kind of confusing. It's not something that was simple, like the simplicity even could have been complex for others.
Yeah.
But the simplicity of like Fast Pass Plus and Max Pass was pretty easy.
Yeah.
This, I feel like they're trying to make things a little bit, yes, and it's per person, per ride. So something I found out that I found really interesting is if you're at Walt Disney World, okay, we're gonna have to be shifting back and forth from Disneyland to Disney World here.
Yeah.
But right now I'm gonna talk about Walt Disney World real quick. Something that I found very interesting. So if you are staying on property at a Walt Disney World resort, you're able to book your what do you call it? Your Lightning Lane or your Genie, whatever it is. You're able to book it at 7 a.m. before everybody else.
You have an incentive for staying at the hotels.
Whereas if you're now we're going to go back over to Disneyland. If you're at Disneyland, you can book it as soon as you are in the park. You're scanned into the park.
Kind of like Max Pass.
That's when you can. Now, a lot of people are asking, is it $15 per person per ride? Yes, for some attractions, like I think it's Rise of the Resistance was 15. There was so at Epcot, these attractions are Epcot. It's Ratatouille,
Here, I'll get
I believe.
The list here.
Spencer has the list right in front of him.
Well,
those are just the regular rides. We need the ones that are
the Lightning.
the Lightning Lane attraction, the premium. Okay. So Magic Kingdom is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Space Mountain. Those are the two
that you would pay extra for on top of your Genie
right.
Plus.
And we don't have the price on there, do we?
I
think we did.
Say.
Epcot, we have Ratatouille and Frozen. Hollywood Studios is Rise of the Resistance and Runaway Railway. Surprised that Slinky Dog wasn't on there. Very surprised by that.
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom is Flight of Passage and Everest. So that's how that works there. Over in DCA, it's Radiator Springs, correct? And I think it was just Radiator Springs. And then over in Disneyland, it's Rise of the Resistance. Oh, no, and Web Slingers.
Web Slingers,
that's
right.
what it is. And then it's Rise of the Resistance over there. So those things are going to cost extra. You can go 2 times, correct? That's the max you can do.
As far as when you purchase those extra ones, yeah.
Right. Oh, thank you. There we go. Okay, so there it is. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will be $9 per person. And $11. Oh, because it does depend. Like, see, this is where it gets confusing.
It depends on a day.
It depends on the day. So
more crowded days.
This was the example that Disney World gave. They said $9 per person on October 19th and $11 per person on October 23rd. Everest was $7 per person and can be $15 per person. So see how it's like it ranges. You just don't know until you like show up that day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, so that's where we're going by. Like, This
No,
could get.
here's the other thing that has been brought up is also Remy's has a virtual queue right now.
Yeah.
Much like Rise or Web Slingers, even though now Rise is standby here. I'm just saying,
which is really going to be helpful for this.
But there was a question about, will the virtual queue for Remy's be more difficult to get? And the answer is yes, based on we don't know how much capacity they're going to allow for the Lightning Lane or for the Genie Plus. Like if it's like 25% or what, we just really don't know how much is set aside. But it will make the virtual queue more difficult to attain because there'll be less of those.
It's also going to make the regular queue longer.
Well, that's standard. That is one thing that we know for sure. Much like Fast Pass and Max Pass, it always will increase the standby line time because you're having to make those people wait and allow the Fast Pass or the Lightning Lane people to go ahead. Now, the other thing that was interesting that we had talked about was we're not sure, again, of how many or the percentage of Lightning they're going to allow. Are they going to allow 10 of those to go while they hold the standby line? 15, 20? How many people are they going to allow to get ahead of each time that they cut the line in front of the standbys with those people?
Which I think it'll really vary on
that
the day.
Might vary, yeah.
Of how many people are using it.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really interesting thing to see because on a really slow day, is it even going to matter? It's
that's the thing.
Jason says, I will be team #standby.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of say I will be.
The worry though about that is, are they going to make it so that standby becomes even more difficult than it just normally would be on a fit? Like if they increase the flow of all of those people, in the Lightning Lane and make standby really bad, it's going to incentivize.
It's going to really force you to buy it.
And people are going to be like, I don't want to wait. Let's just buy this thing. And because I'm watching all these people go.
Because have you ever been there so busy at Disneyland, and you're like, oh, dang, like I wish I could just get through.
People just going by you in that Fast Pass lane. So it's going to incentivize people to buy it, right? Mm-hmm. And they can control that flow.
Well, plus and I don't think it's going to be at Walt Disney World, but the Photo Pass that'll be included.
Right.
And then the VR, or was it AR, VR?
The augmented reality where they add
characters
a character
or
in
something.
your photo where you're holding.
So that'll be interesting. No, I think it's going to be in the land. I didn't think it was in a photo. Oh, maybe I read that wrong.
I mean, augmented reality is like Pokemon.
Yeah, so somebody who just joined said, I think it was Tammy, said, can you explain, since I just joined, like what's going on? Basically, Disney is starting a new Genie Plus system and a Lightning Lane, so basically a whole different type of Fast Pass system. But what was previously free is now going to cost money.
Correct.
And that is what is, oh boy, let me read this super chat real quick. Alexander sends $2 and says, all for it if I get money into struggling CM's pockets. If they end up getting like raises and stuff like that and better break rooms or whatever, right? Sure.
Yeah.
But we don't have any confirmation of that. If they had said something like, hey, Christy sends $10 and says, have you seen or heard anything about multi-day tickets? I'm curious if you buy Genie Plus, not Disney, Genie Plus for individual days, or if you have to do it for the length of stay, primarily for Walt Disney World. I have a magic key for Disneyland. I don't know too much about that, but I do know that everything is per day. That's what it does say everywhere that I've been reading, and we kind of studied today. The only thing that we kept hearing is per person, per day, per person, per day. So, it's definitely a, I don't know. And the thing is, though, we have to remember that we're all these people that are, most of us that are talking about this, a lot of us are going so frequently, and, it's so, I don't know. I'm trying to think of those guests that probably only come like 1 to 2 times per year. I definitely think this will end up being more successful at Walt Disney World versus Disneyland, because again, I kind of think they're trying to bank on these like ticketed guests, and they don't realize that Disneyland is such a regulars park. It's not the vacation destination that Walt Disney World is. So you're more likely to have that guest that will probably only be there once or twice in their life. And of course, if they want to make sure that they're going to go on Rise of the Resistance, hey, I'm going to do it. Whereas, at Disneyland, I would say 70% of that park, maybe even 80%, is a bunch of either locals or very regular, frequent guests that are coming. I'd say almost the whole west coast of America is going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland regularly. So that's where I think this might not be as successful in Disneyland. But then again, you never know, because crowds sometimes can get pretty intense there because it's a smaller park, lesser, I don't know, geographic space, whatever you'd want to call it. So that's kind of what I think. Now what I'm hoping is they're actually going to increase the bandwidth on our phones and the service availability, because I will tell you, if you're wanting us to go so heavy on these cell phones, I mean, come on, you guys, really, how many times have I ordered a mobile order and not been able to get it to come up? And it's very frustrating. So, hopefully that they've installed some more cell towers. They're working on that. That's why I think at Disneyland, this will probably show up early November. I'd say maybe the first, second, or third week of November, before the holidays. Definitely is when I think it'll happen at Disneyland. That's my prediction. I don't know for sure, but I would say anywhere from November 9th to maybe November 12th. And I think the holidays start at Disneyland on the 12th. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happened by then, and when Big Thunder is back.
And there's also the question of people who don't have or use smartphones, which there are folks.
There are.
And there is, normally in the past, there was the kiosks, there was guest experience teams to assist people, without smartphones, but we don't know if that's going to be implemented for this program. But it's looking like they will be at a disadvantage potentially. So that's kind of a bummer if that actually is the case, if they're not able to.
Yeah, there should be some sort of an option for people, like, what if you don't have a cell phone or whatever it may be? Like, that could be very very complicated for people. Kenzie sends $5 and says, "I didn't mean to make you feel bad about your hoodie string. Love you." It does make me feel bad. I was so it's actually kind of funny that you noticed that, because I forgot. I remember looking and I was like, dang it, I pulled it so hard. So now I have to fix it.
Now,
oh, wow.
For our purposes, like how I feel personally about it, and you can weigh in.
Jason said, I know before pandemic here at Walt Disney World, they had a room in City Hall for people with no phones to use My Disney Experience.
Okay, so maybe they'll implement that again. Thanks,
so.
Jason. For me personally, I mean, we're going to try it because we want to kind of test it out and then translate to you guys, of course. And I'm curious, anything new at the parks, I always want to try it to see if it's something that I want to do in the future. Maybe I'll try it and go like, I don't want to ever do this again. Or maybe I'll go, hey, this is kind of cool. But we'll see. I at this point, I'm kind of in that mode of it. Like, I'll test it out, but I don't know how excited I am. I've kind of really enjoyed how the parks have been without FastPass, and
I think everybody's enjoyed that.
Yeah,
it's
I don't think there are a few
nice.
people who don't maybe don't frequent the parks enough to understand how nice that has been. Where the longest wait times could be 45 to an hour, which in relative terms, it's not that bad on certain days for a high traffic attraction. You know what I mean? But to see things like Everest the other day, it was like
10 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes in the middle of the day.
Today it was 10 to 20 minutes.
So that's something that'll be interesting to test, is like, before this happens, to kind of test the park and see what the times are and see how things are, and like, a Friday or a Saturday on the high traffic days, and check, and then see once this rolls out what the difference is, because I expect it to change dramatically. And as much as this is trying to enhance the guest experience, it's also going to inhibit
for the people that can't buy
or
that.
the people, yeah, they, like
I feel like it will.
Talk about that
Kira was
cost.
asking a question, by the way, and I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
Why is it only certain rides that are available? So if you're, the only way I can answer this real quick is that the
it's
lightning
only those
lane ones,
premium ones.
those ones that have historically really long lines. If you're asking about the other attractions,
the other ones are all pretty much all the other attractions are.
I mean, pretty much
are
like
involved, but those fall under the $20 or the $15 price. So here at Magic Kingdom or at Walt Disney World, $15 will cover you getting your lightning lane for just about every ride except for those premium ones.
Just about. Like there isn't, some of the dark rides like, Peter Pan and whatnot, because they're not equipped for it.
Yeah, those
I
don't
think
have
some
it.
of those just aren't.
Pirates of the Caribbean, no. They've never had it, and they don't need to. They move a lot of people.
Actually. They did try to do Fast
They were
Pass.
about to implement it. They actually had the sign up one day, and I was there taking pictures of it, and they eventually took it down. But my point is, to answer that question, is that if you pay the $15 here or the $20 in Disneyland, it gives you access to the system, and you can implement and plug in all those attractions, everything but the dark rides, pretty much.
I could, like I said,
anything that was a Fast Pass prior.
I'm really seeing this working for a family or a couple or friends or whoever it may be that has shown up to just come with their friends or family, whatever, and that's probably the once or twice they will get to come a year. I can see this Genie and Lightning Lane thing. They're not going to know the difference. 9 times out of 10,
yeah.
If you were to ask somebody that's maybe casually come once a year, hey, do you remember Max Pass? They're going to be like, what?
Well, the other thing is
Fast Pass Plus, what?
The other thing is
now you have to pay for it.
You make a good point though about people that only visit once in a while. Now I've talked to some friends who have kids who say, I decided to take my son. He always wanted to go to Disneyland, and I don't know my way around there, and he wanted to do all these things, but I didn't know either where to go or what's the problem.
Oh, some of the super chats disappeared. Dang it! I hate when it does this. I'm so sorry. Keep telling your story because I can. Thank you.
I'll let you do these before I finish.
I'm sorry. I just don't want them to disappear.
She's not interrupting me, by the way. This is what we have to do for these live streams. And
they just disappear, and then we can wait a little bit, but then they disappear.
Please don't take this as a Katie interrupting. This is us doing our job and responding to your super chats.
Hold your story, though, because I'm sure it was very relevant. 408 West sends $5 and says, hi, y'all. Just love watching your magical trip. You most definitely deserve the world for keeping us entertained, and entertained we are. Oh, best life vibes. Love it.
Thank you, brother.
Rebecca sends $5 and says, hi, you all made my day while I'm recovering from foot surgery. Oh my goodness. I watch your videos and virtually walk with y'all. I love that. Alessandra sends $5 and says, I love your pretty makeup, Katie. You're so sweet.
What about mine?
I have to put that out there. Thank you guys for making videos. There's a comfort in my head when I watch. Also, our other moderator, Victor, is here, so welcome. We have both of our fantastic moderators here. The good part is Jason is local to Walt Disney World, so
and
if
Victor
you have any
is
questions...
local to Disneyland.
There you go.
We've got it covered.
They can definitely help you. Marcella sends $10 and says, I was just at Disneyland on the 1st of October and didn't wait longer than 30 minutes for any ride, including Radiator Springs Racers.
See, that's amazing.
Let's see, including it was bliss. Anyway, off to eat my sushi, plus blab, the perfect Friday night. Love it. Enjoy that sushi, girl. I love it. Okay, so back to your story.
So if you're somebody who doesn't frequent the park, you are coming from far away. You only go every couple of years.
And we do have some of those in California. Like you were saying, you've had some friends that you've worked with, colleagues maybe. Thank you, Daisy.
Thank you, Daisy, for that. So yeah, a good friend of mine literally told me, I guess I got to go with you, man, because we had the worst day because they had taken, it was for a birthday, and so they took some other kids with them. And they were all talking about, what do you want to do? Well, this guy wants to do this, and this kid wants to do that. But we're really hungry, and we wanted to get something to eat. And he said it was so difficult to manage all of these requests.
Right.
He didn't know the park. He didn't know the trends of when was the best time to go over and eat and where to eat. And then these kids want to go on this ride.
What was the best time to sit and wait for this show? Or,
right. So for somebody like that, I feel like this could really help them out. And, if that means they got to pay an extra $15 to $20, I'm sure they would
make their life a lot easier.
Yeah, because all they got to do is say, "Oh, what do you want to go on?" Okay, plug it in, plug it in, plug it in.
Right.
Boom, and then this dad is a hero because he can make all these wishes and dreams come true for these kids that day.
Right.
So for that, I think it's invaluable if it actually works the way they say it's going to work.
Yeah, if it works the way they say it's going to for a party like that. So I think this is worth it. Like, you're probably going to see a lot of YouTube. Is it worth it? Listen.
Oh, you'll see all the "is it worth it"
Is
videos.
It worth it? You're going to see 100 of those, but you have to remember it's going to be based on the actual party, their experience, what they're looking for.
Right.
When you ask that question of anything, is it worth it? You have to take into consideration the actual needs, the wants, the values, whatever it may be of that individual.
Where is it being applied?
What I find worth it may not be something you find worth it. So
right. We have to
it is in the eye of the beholder.
We have to think of the all the different applications of a park day for different folks and different needs. We are in a strange, small category, although there are a lot of folks like us who shoot videos and have social media accounts that revolve around the parks. We are still a very small percentage of the consumer of these Disney parks. So
Ellen, I said it because of you. She's like, I just said that. I was like, no, I said it because I read your comment.
So it'll be interesting to see. I would love to actually have somebody like my friend come and try that.
Yeah, I would love to see a family that doesn't know the park as well as both of us do.
Right.
See how it works for them. Now, this is where I'm saying I think it will definitely be more, I can almost bet with certainty that it'll be more successful in Walt Disney World more than California.
Yeah.
Just because there's that percentage of more regular customers versus Walt Disney World, where it's so many people that
you get a lot of traveling families because of the amount of resorts here. They can accommodate a vacation of a lifetime for a family, and it can be very customized. Because you can stay at Jumbo House at Animal Kingdom Lodge. You can go stay at Wilderness Lodge. You can go stay
Key West. You can do everything.
Contemporary. You can customize these trips. So I think you're right about that. There's another layer to it that I thought was interesting, that you can consult. You know how on Apple, or I think it's Apple or Google, you can, if you have a question, you can type in, and say, hey, I'm having a problem uploading whatever.
I think most places,
and they have the live response. That is also built into the Genie.
Right.
So if you have a problem and you're like, I don't know how to do this, there's somebody there who will respond. And
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Did you put your knee on it or something?
No, I touched it with my foot. So the reason I think that Jason said it's more built for Walt Disney World, why is Disneyland using it? I think Disneyland's using it for the customer, like Spencer was talking about. I think it'll definitely be more for those people that are just the casual customers. It's not a vacation destination, although people do vacation there. I think there still is a fragment of people that do trips and just don't know the park.
Well, yeah, and if they have a day, every minute is so crucial in how you spend that minute or that hour.
Right.
We know that from experience
we could say it's the poor man's VIP guide, tour guide, right?
I would say that.
Mr. Genie's
without being offensive.
No, I'm joking.
She's saying it in a sense of.
It's a lighthearted joke.
It's like having it, a little internet assistant or like a virtual assistant, really.
Yeah.
Because you can maximize your day, and I think that's the idea of it. So it'd be cool to see somebody utilize that who doesn't know the parks like we do. For us, it's going to be it's almost become something like this for us personally. I would think it becomes an impedance for us because we've learned to do that on our own.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, here, let us assist you and have all that knowledge and that data to give you that perfect day.
Right. Terry sends $10 and says, "Hey, my favorite Disney duo hurt my back. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry, and spending most of my day in bed. I'm so glad you're there having fun, Katie. You and those wings and ribbons was the best." Yeah, I think it was in Adam's video or Dylan's. I think Adam's, where he caught me ribbon dancing at Animal Kingdom, so that was fun.
Very rhythmic.
You can use it for free, says Matthew. The Genie is free. It's the Plus that's the $15 or $20 to get the
Correct.
Lightning Lane access. Yes.
Correct.
The Pharaoh thank you for clarifying it. Yeah. Right?
No, that's true. You can use the Genie to.
Now I'm getting confused.
No. Here's the deal.
Okay.
I'll set you straight.
Woo!
You can use the Genie to help plan your day, but as far as getting return times for rides, other than those a la carte rides, as they're calling them,
Yeah.
Genie Plus is what you need to do that if you want to go on Big Thunder Mountain, if you want to go on Matterhorn, any of these things. And I'm speaking of Disneyland now, obviously. That's the Genie Plus.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Oof.
you can plan your day as far as, hey, I want to go eat here. I want to make a reservation to this restaurant. I want to go see the princesses.
Do you see how easy that can
all
confuse
free.
me?
Genie Plus is really to access the Lightning Lane. But I'm glad whoever said that
Thank
brought
you.
that up.
I'm sorry. I think it was Matthew.
Thank
the
you,
Pharaoh
Matthew.
family sends $10 and says, "Hey guys, sorry we missed the past few live streams, but we are here." And Audrey says, "Hi." We have been enjoying all the Walt Disney World videos so much. How do you guys think Genie Plus will and Lightning Lane will impact the DAS program? I honestly think it will not have an effect on it, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I feel like it won't make an impact because the DAS is a service for disabilities and disability access, and I think that's if there is a change to that, I think it'll be separate.
Now, when we first did a video about this on the very first announcement of Genie Plus.
Oh, the virtual part of it. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I feel like there was a DAS.
There was something about that. You have to renew it. I think for Kaylee's every 6 months. I could be wrong. 60 days, that's what it is. Thank you. It's 60 days, and you have to, answer the questions and recertify all that stuff.
But I believe there was a way to
virtually
implement that into your Genie.
Yeah, it was something like that. But I don't think it's going to affect... I think what the question is more like, is it going to affect like where they get on or how they do it? Or
is it going to affect it in a sense of like it's not going to be available as much as it was before? Like impede the process of DAS. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I think it's going in the sense of like your return times might be farther away than normal. Like right now, if you were to get a return time through your DAS and they said, "Oh, come back in a half an hour to this attraction," it could take longer because the bottom line is any type of Fast Pass or Lightning Lane thing increases the wait time of everything for everybody.
That's a good point.
We will have to see.
SBS sends $5 and says, I have seen that if you pay for Lightning Lane, you can only ride each Lightning Lane once in a day. Is this true?
That is true.
I thought it was twice. What's
twice is for the a la carte.
Thank you. Okay.
So for the a la carte, the premium ones that you pay for extra, like Rise of the Resistance,
right,
you can do those twice. You can pay for those twice, and that's it. As of now, the other ones, I shouldn't say free, but the ones that fall under Genie Plus as just the overall cost, like you pay the $15, you can do each of those attractions one time.
So California to Florida. So how they not going to stop people from refusing the DAS program? People are going to do everything to get that pass so you don't have to pay. To abuse the pass, I think is what you're saying. They ask you specific questions, and I think that's how do you call it, the tour guides, the plaids, they have a special way of doing their thing. They're trained and
they know how to vet the customer.
Thank you. I don't know how to explain that.
They ask the right questions and are able to sniff out that type of...
And plus that, I don't think people would go to that extent.
Oh, they would. They would.
I hate to say that,
but they would and they do. But I think
and a lot of people are asking what DAS is. By the way, it's a Disability Access Service. I think is the acronym for it. I could be
I believe
wrong.
you're correct.
Yeah, and it just depends on the condition and whatnot. And those are even changeable because Kaylee has DAS, but for certain things. Regarding with her disability.
Sure.
So it was abuse. Okay. So yeah, I just don't think people are going to stoop to that level. But again, that might just be my, that might be my wishful thinking or optimism of it.
That is not good
know.
karma. If you believe in karma.
What qualifies for DAS pass? That might be something that I don't think it's something we should be answering, but it's something that you would definitely talk to a Disney park to get more information on. So.
A lot of times, just in general, it involves folks who, because of something, they can't wait in a line because they can't stand too long or they can't be out of the sun.
There's a wide variety.
It's a vast category that I'm not going to get into because it's a medical.
Right.
It's a medical thing. It really is.
Yeah.
And if people know, you folks know who you are and know who your family members are, or people that you know that use that or utilize that, and it's not anything that I can really.
You can find more about DAS on the Disneyland website.
There you go.
Like I said. Aloha from Hawaii. Do you need a cough drop or something?
I just need something to drink. For some reason, my voice is like.
Here, let me get you a water. I think I
Thank
have
you.
a water bottle. Because you have been clearing your throat.
I know. Well, it's been talking a lot.
Lucky for you, we got Publix water.
There you go. Thank you.
There you are.
Cheers.
Publix water is the
Excuse
best
me while
water.
I drink some water.
Look at you. Will this replace my Disney experience? I mean, I think
No.
it's going to be integrated into the...
I think it's integrated
Yeah,
into it.
the whole thing.
That's what I read.
So it'll be like that. Will you guys be there for Christmas? I don't know. I have an idea for Christmas, but I'm kind of changing some stuff. Will you still be here next week? I would love to meet you both. More than likely. Howdy from Texas.
Howdy.
Howdy from Texas. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we didn't cover. Did that kind of explain it for you guys?
I'm so sorry to be clearing my throat. Here's something interesting about how many ride reservations can be made at one time with Genie Plus service, like for the regular FastPass rides. Walt Disney World has confirmed that guests will be able to make another reservation 120 minutes after their first reservation, even if they have not redeemed the first Genie Plus selection. Almost like an old FastPass rule. But yeah, and one at a time, or one time for each ride. But let's say you have one for, Thunder Mountain, and it hasn't happened. Whatever your return time was farther out than 120 minutes. You'll be able to make another one after that. Even after you're still waiting for if that makes sense.
Yeah. I like the Max Pass service at Disneyland. I wish they would stick with that. I was happy with it too, but I'm happier without any kind of a Fast Pass system because let me just tell you something. The lines have been nothing. I mean, waiting standby. Remember, Fast Pass, Max Pass, it makes every queue double as long. It instantly almost doubles the queue. So no matter what way you're looking at it. But how do we feel about it? I'm cautiously optimistic. I feel like, again, for the customer, it just depends, I can see customers that it would work for, but for regulars like us, it is going to just be a pain in the butt. And it's going to stink to have to wait a lot longer in lines than, we're used to. But again, me and Spencer personally, can we complain at all? No. Why? Because we get to go all the time. We do not have room to complain. We don't have the right to complain, in my opinion, about any of this stuff.
We've been our own genies for
Yes.
forever.
Yes, and if it does make lines longer, so be it. That there are far worse things that Spencer and I could be involved in. And if I'm going to put my energy into complaining about anything, it's going to be the trams. Bring back the trams. The Farrow family sends $5 and says, y'all making me wish I had a Publix in California. Trust me, you and me both. Publix, The fact that it's like one of the main attractions that I get to go, the water's not helping.
I'm just congested for some reason. I can't tell you why.
And maybe the rain and the humidity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because you were fine, literally, like we turned on the live stream and now
I know.
your throat is just...
Anyways.
I feel like we could start making a remix out of that because we've heard it for the last 39 minutes.
There was even a hint of a technical rehearsal.
Oh, really?
For select guests. If you're visiting Walt Disney World in a couple of days before the official launch, keep your eye out for an email or in-app notifications.
That'd be cool. I hope
Could
that
be
happens to me.
Little test run.
Will you still need a boarding pass for Rise?
Not here in Walt Disney World. Those have since been abolished.
In Disneyland, yeah.
They are gone.
Disneyland,
it is
you will.
pure standby. And I think right now is a sweet time in between the launch of Genie Plus for Rise of the Resistance, because I've been hearing directly from people I know that, you know, it's not that long of a wait.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah,
pretty
I've heard
amazing.
a few people say that, especially right now because everybody is because everybody's trying to be a Magic Kingdom. So I've heard that. Britt sends $5 and says, have you considered going on a Disney cruise? We've considered it for 10 seconds and said, no, thank you.
Just not for us.
We're not cruise people.
But they look like a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. If I was going to do a cruise, it'd be a Disney cruise.
Yeah, it's just not
right off the bat.
Just not our flavor.
Yeah, I don't, for me, I don't like being trapped, and I don't want to be trapped on a boat, and then I don't like boats, so it's like all these things.
We both kind of agree on that one. There's a lot of things that we disagree on and that we don't align on, but that's one of them where I'm the same way as I don't want to be stuck on that thing.
I don't want to be stuck on a boat.
And
I don't care how
huge.
much there is. No, I don't want it.
I just, you know.
I have a hard enough time for 5 hours on a plane. Now, granted, a plane isn't, whatever, but like, no thank you.
Look, they are small cities. I get it, but...
I still don't want to do that. I wouldn't want to be on an island either. There's just things I don't want to do, and that's one of the things. Hey, maybe in 5 years from now, maybe in like 2 years from now, I may change my mind to be like, I want to do a cruise, but right now, it ain't
the only thing I ever thought of was like, it would be so cool if they like actually did like the Love Boat. Remember the show The Love Boat? I'm dating myself.
I do not know.
If they had like a Captain Steubing and a,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You guys know.
If you have an age gap relationship, here's a perk right here. I don't know what this guy's talking about. I love it.
I'm just saying.
Do you have any questions? Let's ask some questions about Lightning Lane, Genie Plus, anything like that. Some of the things a lot of us don't 100% know. Like I said, I'm more of a kinesthetic learner where I need to like kind of go through it.
It's a very big word.
Yeah, I'm more of a hands-on learner. Oh, was World of Disney Tim in here? I think he was. Wad Tim, I miss you. Kristen sends $5 and said, I appreciate your attitude about complaining about the system. It's refreshing to hear. Thank you. I'm glad most of you appreciate that and allow us to complain. We're only going to complain about something if we feel like it's really just not cool for you guys. I almost said I almost said something bad. So we don't want it to mess with your experience. And like I said, the reservation thing, how it was, I don't know how it is now. I haven't been checking on it, but I think they shut us all up and opened up more reservations. But I still think the system is busted. I think we're not getting, I think Dylan and I were talking about it, you're not getting the perks that we should be getting. All these other parks have all the other perks. And I am more concerned. We actually had a very good discussion, didn't we, Dylan, about perks and the trams. And I was like, I want the trams. And he's like, I think I want the perks. But you came up with some good ideas for annual pass holders and what you think would be good for, annual pass holders. Like, he came up with some really good ideas for some perks. And I was like, these are good. Do you want to share your perk ideas?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
You're gonna get Theme Park Obsession sharing his perk ideas.
This is normally how he comes into the lives.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait.
Hold on, move the.
Dylan, come on upstairs.
Okay, hold on. Let me just make sure the elevator's...
Oh, he's taking the elevator this time.
Nice. Okay, so what were your ideas for some perks that you, like? Dylan does theme park obsession for anybody who doesn't know. So he goes to other theme parks. Like every once in a while you've seen us go to a few other parks.
You could almost say he's obsessed.
Almost. So he goes to other parks. He's an annual pass holder at all these other parks. He's literally obsessed with them, studies them, knows all about them. So we were talking about comparing Disneyland's Magic Key system program and, what we find kind of flawed about it, or like what it is and how it could be better and what would you want.
Let the man talk.
And so, I wanted to give him an idea.
Some of the perks, I like having a pass to Disney. I mean, first of all, thanks for those that helped me out getting a pass. It was very difficult to try to get a pass on my end, and so a huge shout out to those that helped me out, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to have the pass. But second, I wish that they would offer more perks. I'm going to use Six Flags, for example. Six Flags has a membership where it never expires. You just keep paying monthly. And when you want to end your membership, that's when your pass ends. They have no blockout dates. And I paid $20 a month for my diamond thing at Six Flags.
Right.
I get 50% off all food and merchandise. I get free bring a friend free days for the park. And they have like specialty perks, like at Hurricane Harbor, they have a little VIP section for only diamond members to sit. And so like, I wish Disney had perks that were similar. So why don't they, have certain areas for dream key holders that, like when you watch fireworks, there's a dream key holder viewing section.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
How about like when they build, like it would have been cool like if they built Oga's Cantina and then there's like a sidebar that's only available for Magic Key holders, and it's like a totally different experience. Like they can like expand that idea of perks to a whole new level and make it super exclusive and incredibly immersive. So I don't know why they don't do that. And
it's just there's perks that they could give us that are free. They don't cost anything.
Why don't they give us like once a year, because it's Disney, they're probably gonna do it once a year, but once a year you can bring a friend for free in the park.
Right.
Or like you get 50% off a park ticket for your family.
Or let us stay an hour later, or come an hour earlier.
Because that would incentivize like a family of four to be like, oh yeah, we can go to Disneyland now, and then that family of four would spend money at the park when otherwise they probably wouldn't. So it's like, I don't know why they don't. I mean, I know why they don't do the perks, because it's Disney and people are going to do it anyway. But I wish they would offer more than just like, oh hey, you have 365 days and here's some free parking.
Yeah, so the point is,
all they did, and he makes a good point, because all they did was they did the leaving the mansion open for the shopping hour. Yeah. Which is like, okay, like
the park's open anyway, pretty
much.
Yeah,
it's open anyways. I mean,
it was still fun. Don't get me wrong.
It's a good start, but they should expand on that idea and that type of thing.
Yeah, because, Jason said Epcot used to have an AP lounge. I mean, we used to have AP days where we were like appreciated, and that was really fun. I loved it.
Like, I'm grateful to have a pass. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm super thankful to have a pass to Disneyland. Like, I have fun, and I like going on the rides and stuff. But I wish, because all the other theme parks in SoCal offer their pass holders some additional perks, and I wish Disney would do the same thing. So then it's a really compelling product and a competitive product. So.
Right, and like we're still paying. Like, again, in my opinion, and I think Spencer and I would almost say Dylan would agree. I don't know for sure because I don't read your mind. But I would say 100% Disneyland is that premium product. So I realize I'm going to pay double, triple for Disneyland. It is the superior thing. That's why our whole channel is basically Disney. But at the same time, I think there's ways that they can improve that. And the point we're making with this all is that we're not just complaining. We're trying to talk about this from a standpoint of we love these parks so much, and it's like, we're trying to share this stuff with you of like, giving you our honest opinion and what we really sit and talk about. We're not coming from an entitled standpoint, whatever it is. Like, it's just this is what we want. We want it for all of you guests. There's how many of you are Magic Key holders or annual pass holders at Walt Disney World? Like, we're just chatting with our friends.
The topic of Genie Plus, they should have included it with the Dream Key. Like, I'm
100%.
sure that was when they were all at the meeting talking about Dream Keys and what they're going to offer for the people. I'm sure they thought about, hey, maybe we should do this, because Max Pass was included at the top tier pass previously with the Signature Plus Pass. So, but I'm assuming they knew that they could make more money off of people if they just decided to offer it as a
even if they
separate
said like, for $50 more, you can have this,
Yeah.
whereas the other tiers couldn't add it on at all. At least you could add it on. If they wanted to make more money, which we know they do, fine, then charge us, but allow it to be a perk that only that level gets. That only Dream Keys can purchase this.
And I think before I take the elevator ride back down, I think people would pay more for an annual pass if they knew the perks were a little bit more magical and a little bit more exclusive, because I mean you're paying that price. Disney it doesn't cost Disney anything, and Disney knows that they can create a loyal person even more by saying, hey, once a year you get a free little something. And even in the surveys before the Magic Keys came out, they talked about these kind of things, and it seems like they talked about it to get people hyped up, but then they didn't deliver on those. But I don't know. I guess I'm speaking. I think I'm speaking too early because the Magic Keys have just been released, so there's time to definitely marinate on this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
going to take the elevator back down.
Have a nice ride.
Thank you, Dylan. Theme Park Obsession.
Right
there you go.
There he goes.
So yeah, I guess the main point of that is like there's just a lot that we're already not getting at the parks right now.
Well, and
we're in this
Dylan,
weird time.
He made me think. Dylan, did you make it down there?
Yeah, I made it down here.
Yeah, I heard him. It's like echoing. When he's talking about the Disney product and the fan base and all that stuff, it popped in my mind that if you think about our level of and a lot of people's our level of commitment to the Disney product and how loyal and how much we all love it, right? It's kind of special in a sense of against other theme parks. Like other theme parks we're into them, but we're not as like invested as we are in this Disney product because I think a lot of us grew up with it. It's ingrained in our hearts. The storytelling and the just the way there's something different about the Disney product, and I feel like that should not instead of taking advantage of that notion, it should be incentivized. Like Dylan was saying, it should be like, hey, we've got really loyal customers who love this product and will purchase it no matter what. They'll come no matter what, hell or high water, as they say. Much more than other parks, and not to take away from other parks, but
it's better to reinforce the good behavior, i.e., being a
and that's where I feel there's a misunderstanding because we get some people sometimes saying like, oh come on, you guys are adults and you're talking about theme parks, you're whining about theme parks. It's like no, this is something that is so in people's hearts. Like you see people crying at Disneyland all the time out of joy and happiness. You don't see that at other parks. And I'm not trying to diminish other parks. I'm just trying to talk about how important this one is.
How hardcore Disney's audience is.
And how they should be like grateful for that in a sense of like, let's harness that and make it even better. And like, really like show these people that like since you care so much about our product, we care about you just as much, because it's very unique in that way.
Right.
Now, do I love Universal and Six Flags and all these places? Yeah, totally. But the Disney thing is different, and I think everybody knows it.
Yeah, it's very true. 24 fan sends $5 and says, am I remembering right that they did a bring AP, bring a friend for $99 in 2019, 3 a day? I think would have been neat to have. I don't remember.
I do
honestly.
remember. I remember something like that because I think we took my mom.
Oh, you're right. Oh,
it was like a discounted price, and you could take some money.
Yeah, it was. Yes,
right?
They definitely did. We brought your mom. I remember that. The Big Avocado sends $50.
Oh my
gosh, that's a lot. Thank you. Loving all the Walt Disney World content. Just some support for the channel or a good old drinky poo. Caprice. Well, thanks, you. Caprice. That'll be utilized 100%. Pixar Fest. Kevin sends $10 and says, we also keep supporting their bad habits in a way because we keep paying for the passes, and it's a way brushing it under the rug and allowing it to happen. That's kind of true. That's true.
That is true in a sense, but it's also kind of what I was just saying about it's the loyalty to that product that people will pay. And I think you can look at it both ways. You can say, we're reinforcing their bad behavior. But I think in a sense, we're also letting them know that like, hey, we really care about this, and like we'll do whatever it takes.
It's like we keep trying, and like we keep knowing, like, listen, we love it so much.
And it's like you almost feel bullied that you're being taken advantage of, in a sense, when it should be rewarded that we care so much and we're willing to pay for the product instead of jacking the price up for these parties, these after hours parties, and making them like almost unattainable for the average person. Lower the price and make more available, because you're gonna get the money, they're gonna buy the product. You know what I mean? It's like raising the price. It just seems cruel to me. Like it's just like
it's because at the end of the day, like it is a business and they are out to make money.
Of course.
But you'll still make money. But again, it's like
they're in a unique position of the most loyal fans of any product I can think of.
Right.
Loyalty. Like
Christopher sends $5 and says, how much of this is Disney trying to figure out a balance between paying guests and Magic Key and keeping the park in optimal capacity? That's a good question.
It comes up a lot, and I think that while that is that's a valid point, it's something that a lot of people love. It's like when, let's say, like
Kevin, they didn't lose money in 2020.
No, they made a profit in 2020,
which is amazing.
I'm trying to think of a band or something. I'm going to date myself and say like,
here we go.
No, I mean, if right now, Led Zeppelin were to come back, we were to somehow bring them back from whatever, and that concert would sell out so quick. And what would we, and even if you charged like $1,000 a ticket for the cheapest seat, it would all sell out. So what do we say? Like, do we say, well, that's not fair to the regular person, or somebody who's maybe got a season ticket to Dodger Stadium and they're allowed access to this concert that's going to be at Dodger Stadium, and then other people are paying $1,000 a seat or whatever. I mean, are we going to say like, well, that's not fair that they're season ticket holders and they're taking up half the seats? Well, that's just the reality of it, and it's a popular thing, and it's like one of the biggest, attracted events of the year, because it's like it's Led Zeppelin. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I just sometimes think that argument of trying to balance out, a season pass holder. That's what I just said. That's a loyal customer that you want. You want loyalty from a customer in a business. That's like if you can achieve that, you've won the game, because they're going to do whatever you tell them to do. You've got them under your spell. So
this is coming from a girl right under that spell.
And I mean, if the parks are crowded, then I mean, it's working. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And I don't think that they're going to like lessen the amount of people just because the experience is not as enjoyable for people. I don't know. I just don't think that's going to happen. It's a hard one to figure out, but like,
we'll see what happens with this Genie Plus thing. I'm really, like I said, I'm optimistic for people that are not well-versed in the park, that are not locals, that are not frequent flyers there. And I'm talking about like the people that are there, I'd say at least twice a month, 3 times a month. I feel like for them, it's not going to make a difference. However, with people that don't know the park, for people that have not frequently gone, anything like that, I could see this being an advantage to them. Now, on certain days when it's not, what's the word? It's going to vary, the lightning lane and how it's going to affect the park and everything else. It's really going to vary. And so say we went on day 1 when it launches, what we experienced that day could be extremely different the next day, because you don't know how many people are actually going to be utilizing that on any given day. And also, like you said, it could vary by the cast member. How many people are they letting in? Like for instance, how many times, I think Bricky made this point once on a live stream when he was talking about this, if I'm not mistaken, but he said something that made me think, when you see people on VIP tours or whatnot, does that really affect the line or your experience? No. However, this could be on a little bit of a bigger scale. So I am trying to keep that balance in mind that sometimes the lightning lane, it might not affect that standby line as much, you know? So you just don't know. It's really got some serious variables we have to think about with this. I don't think we're going to get a very definitive answer.
And then, because I keep trying to figure this one out, because it perplexes me to no end.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know why there's discrimination against people who want to frequent the park more often than others because they can.
You went back to
as
that.
opposed to you know, maybe a family that's coming for, you know, once a year.
Oh, I ranted on my Instagram.
No,
about
I mean
it.
it's a really, you know, it's an argument that it just keeps going. But why are we discriminating against the people who are passionate about it because they want to go? And are they lesser humans because they want to go to Disneyland and they can?
Oh yeah,
because they live close.
We've had so many people. Even if they don't live close, it doesn't.
But I just don't
at
think
the end of the day,
we should be judging
matter.
and saying that that's the person who needs to step aside.
Yeah.
No one needs to step aside. That's discrimination at the highest level.
Listen, at the end of if you want to go every single day, all day, it doesn't matter. Like
Right.
you do not justify. You don't need to justify it. You don't owe it to anybody. And if anybody is making you feel bad and saying, "Well, I've come from all the way around the world, and you're making my experience bad," you're just trying to point fingers at somebody. That's you know,
and
come
if you
on.
were to ask, you know, me as a kid, like, "Hey, Spence, if you could come to Disneyland every day, would you do it?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, I would."
Yeah, and you made your dream a reality. Look at you, Boo Boo.
But my point is like, I think sometimes that comment, and not for the person who asked it. I think you were asking a valid question, but there's some people that it just comes from a place of jealousy and a place of envy, and it's not fair. It's not cool. It's like, you know, don't do that to people.
But really,
That's not fair,
I really want to, like, you know, shut those people down so bad. I get infuriated with it.
Oh, and we'll get comments about it on this video for what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
But do I care? No. Say all you want. I'm going to continue saying what I say and believing what I believe. And you know, at the end of the day, that shaming other people, no matter what the subject matter is, putting other people down, making people feel lesser than other people, and saying that other people are less worth than other people and that you don't deserve it because they deserve it, bad news. And you got bad karma coming to you if you think that way.
Yeah. Let me get to these super chats real quick. I'm sorry about that. Krista sends $5 and says, "Have you done any videos of shopping at Publix?" No, I haven't. I love your food haul grocery shopping videos, and I think Publix needs some praise too. Happy Friday. I haven't done anything like that. I probably won't because whenever we're here, we're just so busy that I don't think I would have time for that. But I appreciate the Publix love. Kevin Black sends $5 and says they also didn't make nearly as much money as they would have in the parks open in 2020. For sure, I completely agree with you. But at the end of the day, they came out with a profit. So that was, I was just going off of the black and white thing right there. But we're going to wrap this up because we've delivered the information. I feel like we've answered some questions. I think we have more to learn for sure. It's definitely an interesting thing. I think we've already experienced a lot of interesting, questionable, kind of uncomfortable at times things going on in 2021 already, just with the parks. 2022, I thought 2021 was crazy. I think 2022 is going to blow our minds in another way. And I don't know if I really like the way it's going, but I'm trying to stay optimistic. I don't know, but I also say bring back the trams.
Thank you.
Back the trams.
Thank you, Frozen Ice Queen, for the 5. Have a churro on me. Love you both so much. I really hope I get another chance to meet you when you're back to Cali.
I hope
if
so.
I don't chicken out again. Don't chicken out.
Don't chicken out.
It's just us.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
But again, bring back the trams. I'm just gonna like every day post, bring back the trams. Bring back the trams. Bring back the trams.
Melissa, speaking the truth. Anyways, as far as Genie Plus is concerned, if there's something we didn't answer or you saw this in a replay, leave us a comment and we'll try to get back to you and give you our best answer that we can. We are going to do our best to try to experience it, you know, firsthand and let you guys know. And if we hear anything else, we'll obviously jump on here and we'll chat about it. So hopefully it was informative, and we'll see what happens. Oh, we got a couple.
Sorry. Thank you, Kayla, for the $5. A friend that went recently to Disneyland told me she felt the magic is starting to lack, and it makes me so sad because I love the happiness it brought. I've heard that a few times, and that's why we were so heated on the stream that we did a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Because I got thousands of messages, read thousands of comments saying that, and there's nothing that kills Disney lovers' hearts more than to hear that when we're doing a channel that's promoting and trying to share this magic and make these videos for you. And when we're reading and hearing things like that, we take it to heart, and it's okay because we open ourselves up for that, but it very much hurts our souls and our Disney loving hearts to see that. And that's why we're trying to be vocal about this, and maybe we can make some change, maybe we won't. But if not, at the end of the day, at least we're getting some support and we're getting some validation from each other, and we're talking about it. And sometimes even just talking about something when you can't actually do something about it, sometimes that makes you feel better, and to know that you're not alone. So we're just here to validate your feelings on that. And 100%, I've even experienced that myself on some micro level. Mr. Robin Nass sends $5 and says Disney has never released daily data on pass holder versus ticket holder attendance. People just assume pass holders are the cause of the crowds. Go Spence. And you know what, though?
That's a good point.
Even if, this is what I've said,
And
even if annual pass holders are causing the crowds, who cares? They've chosen to be there. They have every right to be there. I don't care if that park was 100% pass holders. You don't know those pass holders. You don't know how they feel. You don't know that they haven't lost somebody. You don't know if that's their sensory balance. You don't know their mental state. So if they all want to be there, they have every right to be there. Same thing with ticket holders. At the end of the day, they're all Disney loving people, and even if it makes them happy to just walk up Main Street, turn around, and go home, doesn't matter. I don't want to hear it.
It's a good point. And real quick,
who cares who's causing the crowds?
That's a really good point, because you made me think. So what if now for the next 5 to 10 years, ticket holders outweigh annual passes? Are we going to rise up and go, all these ticket holders are taking up all the space at Disneyland and it's bothering me? Think of how that sounds. That's
Everybody
the same argument going the same direction.
It doesn't matter, but
flipped.
We're not dividing people on who is who. It doesn't matter if you go 100 times. It doesn't matter if you go 5 times. It does not matter. If you're there and you're a guest and you're happy, it doesn't matter if you spend money. It doesn't matter if you don't spend money. It doesn't matter if you go on rides. It doesn't matter if you don't go on rides. If you're there as an annual pass holder, if you're there as a ticket holder, I don't care if go in and out 15 times a day. If that makes you happy and you set up your life to do that, so be it. Who cares? Don't tell anybody that they can't do what they want to do. It makes them happy.
And before we go, Rich Camp 45 cents 5 says, I was selected to do a survey after my first solo trip yesterday. A good section was on Magic Key reservations. Could they be taking action finally? Well, we can only hope so,
Let's
Rich.
be optimistic and hope maybe it will, because I know a few people that got a survey, and I know when we did our live stream, there were several people that made comments saying that they did surveys. So maybe they will. I know every survey I ever get, I just continually write, end reservations, bring back trams. End reservations, bring back trams. End reservations, bring back trams. For me, the trams aren't just a lazy thing, by the way. I was going to say... No, I just want to say there is something, and I was talking to somebody today in my DMs about
Driver,
it.
you are clear.
I love that. Oh, do it again.
No,
do it
I don't want to encourage you.
I'm like on Lion King when she goes, do it again. Ooh, do it again. No, but I was going to say, I was talking to somebody, and I was talking to Dylan about it today, is it really helps with my anxiety to have the tram, because I feel like I can get out of there quicker and easier. I don't like being trapped.
And then I don't have to hear complaining for the 25-minute walk.
Yeah, because it is a 25-minute walk.
All I hear.
I'm like, I just missed the tram.
So for that reason alone, please bring back the tram. It's like
just for complaining.
I can't.
No, because there is people that really do have generalized anxiety disorder, like me, and panic disorder, and when I can't get, I can't
disorder.
get on.
What do you call that?
That too. But when I can't get on the bus and leave right away, it freaks me out. It just, there's something about that long, daunting walk.
One more before we go. 24 Fan Sense 5 says, I feel like people like you guys, Adam, Fresh Baked, etc., can definitely have an impact on our future changes by Disney. You help us give all of us a voice. Well, thank you.
I hope so. Bring back the trams and reservations. Bring back the trams.
Valerie agrees with you. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Genie Plus, tell us what you think. Hit a thumbs up on the way out. That helps us out a lot.
And thank you everyone who sent super chats. Thank you to all of our Patreon members. And thank you to everyone who bought some merch. You bought your Best Life merch.
Oh, I'm not wearing my merch right now. I'm
BestLifeandBeyond.com. BestLifeandBeyond.com.
Oh, boy.
Does the dance. Best Life and
This is what I
Beyond.
have to deal with, even after the camera's off, folks. So.
I'll continue doing it.
Oh, boy. All right.
BestLifeandBeyond.com.
Oh, my gosh.
BestLifeandBeyond.com.
This is insane.
.com.
Okay. We're out of here.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.